Hello, everyone, and welcome to Edrienia Extrasensory Elevation. It's me, Shani, and I'm so grateful to God for this wonderful opportunity to record another video. In this video, I'm going to talk about a dream that changed my life, seeing God as a bright light. Dreams have always been a profound part of my life, but one dream in 2013 stood out as extraordinary, unlike any other. In this dream, I saw God appear to me as a great, bright, shining light, calling me back to church ministry. At the time, I was far from the path of spiritual commitment. My life felt aimless, clouded with doubt, struggles, and a growing sense of hopelessness. Yet this dream came as a divine interruption, altering the trajectory of my life forever. The background. In 2004, I felt God's call to church ministry for the first time. Answering this call, I enrolled with my family at Seattle Theological College in town, where I studied from 2005 to 2008. Those years were spiritually awakening for me. I thrived in my theological studies and felt deeply inspired by God's hand upon my life. However, my journey in the college was not without hardship. During my studies, especially toward the end of my studies, I experienced profound heartbreak due to injustices and internal conflicts within the institution. Despite being in good standing as a candidate for ordained ministry, invited to serve as a tutor, I decided to walk away from ministry entirely after graduation. Between 2008 and 2013, I wandered through various jobs and church denominations, such as Pentecostal, the Mormon Church, Quakers, but nothing felt right. My heart struggled to find a home in any of these communities. In addition to that, financial challenges mounted, and I found myself revisiting my old habits, including drinking, which I had abandoned when I first entered the theological college. By 2013, I was drifting further away from God's call on my life, moving in a direction that strayed from the purpose He had for me. What I didn't realize at the time is that when God calls you for a purpose, no matter how much you try to run away from it, it keeps chasing you. God's call doesn't fade, it follows you, sometimes quietly, sometimes loudly, but always persistently, until you give in and fulfill it. It was during this time that an Anglican priest from my childhood village asked me to lead Bible studies for his men's group. I reluctantly agreed, but still resisted joining the church. My life continued to spiral, and one Saturday night, after heavy drinking, I went to bed and had a dream that changed everything. Let me describe the dream. In my dream, I saw a great bright shining light that was impossible to look at directly. Within the light, I heard a voice calling my name, Laiseni, Laiseni. The voice continued, I'm calling you to St. Barnabas in Mataika. Go there, that is your ministry. The moment felt real, more vivid than any dream I had ever experienced. When I woke up, my body was shaking, drenched in sweat and overcome with fear. My heart raced, and I knew this was not an ordinary dream. It was a divine encounter. Looking at the clock, I saw it was 6 a.m. Sunday morning. Without hesitation, I got out of bed, bathed, dressed, and prepared to go to St. Barnabas Church. My wife, surprised and confused by my sudden decision, questioned me, thinking I was joking. But I knew this was serious. That morning, I went to church for the first time in years. A shared universal experience. 6 years after my dream, I learned something extraordinary during a trip to England in 2019. While representing St. John's College, Auckland, at a church conference on climate change and visiting Anglican historical sites, I met another church pastor with a story that stunned me. One evening in the hotel lounge, I was having coffee with a fellow colleague when a man joined us, introduced himself, and shared his journey to ministry. As he spoke, I was floored, completely floored. His story mirrored mine almost exactly. He described a dream where God appeared to him in a great, bright, shining light, calling his name and commissioning him for ministry. The words of God spoke to him, the brightness of the light, and even the overwhelming feelings of fear, awe, and clarity he experienced were identical to mine. The only differences were in the details. He was in Africa, I was in Tonga. He belonged to the Pentecostal church, I to the Anglican. Despite these variations, the essence of our dreams was the same. It was as if God used a universal language of light and truth to call us, transcending geography, culture, and denomination. This encounter reminded me of how God's call is not bound by time or place. It affirmed that divine experiences are universal, uniting us in a shared purpose. The aftermath. This dream was God's way of bringing me back to church ministry at a time when I was drifting far from his purpose and call. He intervened to redirect my path. From that Sunday onward, I never looked back. Within 2 weeks, I announced to the men's group that I was returning to become a full member of the church. The following year, in November 2014, I was ordained as a deacon and later as a priest in August 2015. In January 2016, my family and I moved to Auckland, New Zealand on a church scholarship to further my philosophical studies. Little did I know that God's word in my dream to go to St. Barnabas would lead to this new chapter in my life. A shared universal experience. This dream wasn't unique to me. Across time, cultures, and spiritual traditions, many have shared similar encounters with the divine light. St. Paul, for example, in the New Testament of the Bible, described seeing a great light and hearing the voice of Jesus. Road to Damascus. He wrote, "Suddenly a light from heaven flashed around me. I heard a voice saying to me, 'Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me?' As in Acts chapter 9, verses 3 to 4. Like my experience, Paul's vision completely transformed his life and mission. Another example is Rumi, the Sufi poet, spoke of the divine light, saying, 'The wound is the place where the light enters you.' His writings reflect the idea that the divine light calls us to heal, to transform, and fulfill our greater purpose. Paramahansa Yogananda, the author of Autobiography of a Yogi, described encountering divine light during meditation, saying, 'A blinding light of 1,000 suns burst open within me. The Spirit of God is bliss. His experience mirrors the overwhelming love, peace, and clarity I felt in my dream.' Eckhart Tolle, a contemporary spiritual teacher, recalls his own life-changing moment of awakening, saying, 'I felt drawn into what seemed like a vortex of energy. And suddenly, there was no more fear. I was filled with a profound sense of peace and bliss.' Hearing these accounts affirmed for me that the divine light is a universal experience. It is God's way of reaching into our lives, calling us back to Him, and guiding us toward our purpose. What are the lessons learned? Number one, God's call is persistent. When God calls you for a purpose, you cannot escape it, no matter how far you run or how much you resist. His call will keep chasing you until you surrender to it. Number two, divine encounters are universal. The dream I had and the story I heard from that Pentecostal pastor in England taught me that God's call transcends time, place, and culture. The divine light is a universal symbol of God's love and purpose. Number 3, God's plan is greater than we realize. Looking back, I see how every struggle and detour was part of a greater plan. God uses our experiences to prepare us for the mission He has set for us. Number 4, faith requires action. My dream didn't just call me, it demanded a response. When God calls us, we must act, even when it's unexpected or challenging. Number 5, our journey is part of a greater plan. Looking back, I see how everything, when connecting the dots, from my philosophical studies to my struggles, was part of God's plan to prepare me for ministry. My dream in 2018 was a pivotal moment in my life, a divine encounter that rekindled my faith and set me on a path to fulfilling God's call. It reminded me of the great bright light I saw during my near-death experience in 2000, a light of love, hope, and divine purpose. Today, I continue to share this journey through Edrienia Extrasensory Elevation, a platform dedicated to spiritual awakening, divine connection, and inspiring others to discover their true purpose. Like the divine light I saw in my dream, Edrienia seeks to guide individuals to their higher calling, illuminating the truth that God's purpose is universal and relentless. May this story inspire you to listen for God's call in your own life. When it comes, may you find the courage to follow it, trusting that His light will guide you to where you are meant to be. Thank you all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Blessings and light, and see you in my next video.